cannot seem to keep hold of the ball. Soumaré and Didi, El Khanous, all struggling against that very, very impressive Newcastle midfield. Joelinton, Guimaraes, Tonali, they've been fantastic for Eddie Howe this season. Another little dinked ball down this right channel, but Livramento gets enough on it to just put James Justin off his jump. Picked up in the centre circle by Bruno Guimaraes. Just calling for an option in front of him there, the Brazilian international, but he's forced backwards to Trippier. Burn. Now Livramento over the halfway line into Harvey Barnes. Tries to just dink that in behind Feist for Alexander Isak. Well dealt with though by the Belgian. Now, good burst here through the middle of the pitch from Patson Daka. He's got Vardy in the right channel if he can get the pass off, and Tonali has brought him down there. No foul, says the referee. Leicester are very unhappy with that one. 25 yards from goal, and Patson Daka had covered a huge amount of ground there. It certainly looked to me that Tonali, in recovering that situation, had clipped the heels of the Zambian. Not in the opinion of Rob Jones, though. Jamie Vardy just being told to let it go by the referee. Never more have they needed a goal from their talisman. Leicester is still their top scorer this season with 7 in the Premier League, but just 1 in 2025. It's been a pretty thankless task for Vardy. Tries to lead that attack, and for all the speed and nous that he's got, he's not quite the same player that he was of a couple of years ago. But he remains firmly Leicester's best hope of a goal, not just tonight, but between now and the end of the campaign. You can rinse and repeat there. Another poor ball inside the centre circle from Soumaré. And Newcastle will rotate possession back to Dan Burn. Now Livramento again with space to just check in field from left back. El Khanous will press Burn and then press Cher. Trippier rolls it down the right channel. That's a nice little spin away from Guimaraes. Did well to dodge past a couple of Leicester challenges. It was Connor Cody who sprinted out and just got a bit too tight there. Rob Jones on the back of letting that Tonali challenge go. Let's Connor Cody away with the telling off. Here is Daka again to Ndidi. Can he spread this to the advancing James Justin? He can. Just about reaches James Justin. He's forced in field midway inside the Newcastle half. He's got El Khanous for support down the left hand side. Now Christensen. Tonali blocks it away at the near post, and Trippier will try and get there first. Who did the final touch come off there? Kieran Trippier appealing that it was Christensen, but the referee says corner. It's a 50-50 call, that, and I think it does actually just tip off Trippier. He tried to back heel it off Christensen, catches Christensen, and then clips Trippier on the back of the calf. Either way, Leicester have got themselves a corner. El Khanous to take for the Foxes, right-footed over on that far left-hand side for Leicester. Played in short to Christensen and blocked again. And that'll be another corner. Harvey Barnes this time. With the height that Leicester have in this team, maybe this is their best option. Cody, Feist and Didi. Thomas will take this time. Left-footed. Hangs it into the 6-yard box. Burn is there. Heads it up, but not away. Didi tried to battle over on the far side. It's a nice touch from El Khanous. He'll get it back to Wilfred and Didi just inside the penalty area. Thomas will go again from over by the corner flag and block for a throw-in by Murphy. Better this from Leicester. Starting to apply some pressure here and give Newcastle something to think about. Ruud van Nistelrooy has already sent out a flurry of substitutes to get warm. Possible window into his thinking already before we even get to the half an hour mark. He does have some attacking options on his bench if he chooses to shake things up. Bobby D. Cordova Reid, Facundo Buonanotte, Jordan Ayew, Steffi Mavididi. This is a Leicester team firmly in need of a spark of some sort. Here's Dan Burn. Just rolls that onto the halfway line for Tino Livramento. Back now with Burn. Vardy will charge and lead the press, but it's swept forward and cut out by Luke Thomas. Now Wout Faes. Didi. He'll be chased down inside the centre circle by Joe Linton, but Leicester this time managed to keep the ball. Christensen over the halfway line for Leicester, but he's ran into a spot of trouble there as Trippier and Murphy double up. He gets away with that, Christensen, as he slipped and collided with Trippier accidentally, in the opinion of Rob Jones. Here comes Christensen again, tries to loft that one into the path of Vardy, but couldn't get his angle right. Gets a thumbs up from the Foxes captain though. Livramento will come down the left hand side, backed up by Barnes. Goes back to Dan Burn. Leicester have stabilised themselves just a touch here. Got themselves over the half an hour mark without conceding a third. A 3-goal deficit, you'd imagine, would be a complete good night. Much like their chances of avoiding Premier League relegation this season, they are still in with a small shout of getting something tonight. As Isak just drops outside the penalty area to pick up that driven ball from Kieran Trippier. He tries to go back to Trippier, who was caught out of position, and El Kanous has got space to get away down the left hand side here. Wants to find the run of Vardy on into the box, tracked by Shearer and turned behind by Nick Pope. Great run that from Bilal El Kanous, but you got the sense he was constantly looking for Vardy, and Shearer and Dan Burn just squeezed in between themselves to make sure they couldn't find the Leicester City captain. Really good bit of defending here from Dan Burn, just keeps an eye on Vardy as El Kanous gets into the box. Leicester will have another corner. El Kanous this time will jog over to take it. Swings it into the 6-yard box, headed away by Livramento. Soumaré will just nod that back to Thomas, who hoists it into the penalty area, and Tonali, anywhere will do in that type of situation, just smashes it into the Leicester half of the field, and Isak will give chase here, give Soumaré some defending to do. Just about manages to smuggle it back to Mads Hermansen. You can see, little by little, the confidence coming back into Leicester. They need a goal, preferably before the break, of course, from a Fox's perspective. They managed to stem the tide of Newcastle's threat on the counter-attack and cut out the silly errors in midfield as well so far. Can they turn that into real opportunity for Vardy or El Kanous? Newcastle again go long up to the halfway line. Cody does well to just out-battle Isak. Now Wout Faes gets his studs on the ball inside the centre circle. Soumaré tries to swivel away from Guimaraes, and he finds Luke Thomas on the halfway line. Should of course mention that if Leicester do get something from tonight, it will give them hope that their home form can prove crucial between now and the end of the season. They take on Southampton and Ipswich, the other two teams in the bottom three, here in May. They go to Wolves, who are currently 17th as well. get the sense that they need something, even a point from tonight, just to give themselves a bit of momentum. James Justin swings that cross in from right back. Daka and Vardy not quite alert enough to the situation, but Christensen will do well to keep it in play over by the left-hand corner flag for Leicester. Finds El Khanous, who wants to get in on that right foot to fashion a shooting opportunity. It's given away to Harvey Barnes. He'll charge forward through the middle now. He's trying to find the run of Isak. Isaka's just angled away from Conor Cody onto the edge of the penalty area. Cody will stay with him, and Isak tries to post that in. It's blocked away by Feist and Cody. Joe Linton follows up. Big save from Joe Linton. It's turned home by Harvey Barnes. No celebration by the former Leicester man. My initial sense there was that he wasn't celebrating because he thought he might have been offside. But it is, of course, the Leicester connection. I think Rob Jones is just informing him that this will be checked. And Leicester, who had looked to have hauled themselves back into the game. Conor Cody did well to deal with that situation initially. The deflection just fell kindly for Harvey Barnes. And Rob Jones hasn't confirmed a VAR check. He's just told Harvey Barnes that he's been spoken to by his fellow officials. As Joe Linton's effort is turned away by Hermansen. In the replay that we've just been shown, there is no danger of Barnes being offside. Only possibility if there was an infringement earlier on in the passage of play, but doesn't look as if there was any sort of an issue. Rob Jones has given the all clear on that one. 35 minutes gone. And Leicester's brief